Welcome to Nari Shakti, an inspiring series by Azadi Amrit Mahotsav, an initiative of the Government of India to celebrate 75 years of progressive India. With Nari Shakti, we want to recognize the journey and honor the spirit of the strong and powerful women of our country. Hi, I'm your host Dhara, and I run Humane Club, which helps small businesses, think tanks, and media with websites. Our guest for today is Anubha, founder of GirlScript, a non-profit organization that supports and educates women in technology and programming. Her initiatives have impacted more than 5 lakh students in technology across 70 cities in India and 30 plus countries globally. She has also been featured in Forbes 30 Under 30 list for social entrepreneurship. Hi Anubha, welcome to Nari Shakti. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, hello Dhara. Thank you so much for hosting me and for such a lovely introduction. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you.
Absolutely. So, Anubha, I've been following your work since a while now, and how you started so many amazing initiatives to train girls and women in technology, especially from tier two and tier three cities. So, could you tell us about what were your early experiences and what led you to start GirlScript?
Yeah, sure. So I belong from a Tier 3 city in MP, Madhya Pradesh, is a state in India, and it's a small city called Chhindwara. And when I came to study in Nagpur in Maharashtra, I realized that there are, and then again, it was not a very premier college. So then I realized that there are a lot of students who come from such backgrounds to different colleges across India, and they need guidance around technology, and they want to actually grow their career, but there was no actual organization helping them, especially the tier 2 and tier 3 city students. I myself was somewhat curious, and due to my personal life circumstances as well, I had to take like those kind of career choices where I explored different opportunities, and then I thought that why not share it with other people as well, because they might not know like how to represent them on international platforms, how to get jobs which are remote jobs in a company based in US, for example, sitting in India, and similarly, what are the communities and how these communities can help you excel your career. So yeah, all of these points were in my mind, and then I think yeah, this is what triggered me. I was fortunate enough that I got good mentors from different other companies as well, because I made connections and became a part of community. So they kind of guided me, and then at one point I realized that there was no Indian organization doing it, because earlier whatever I was part of, they were all international led communities. They definitely guided me and actually made me who I am. But yeah, I wanted something run by an Indian founder for Indian people and especially women in technology, and that's how I launched GirlScript Foundation.
Wow, I think that's a really, amazing work because, like, yeah, I agree. There are very few communities, in India, and that's an amazing initiative that you started. So, from your experiences of, working very closely with young professionals who typically face, challenges in technology. So, how do you think like GirlScape help them overcome those challenges? And do you have any story to share?
Yeah, definitely. Because what tends to happen is a lot of bigger companies, like they have certain criteria of hiring. For example, they would just hire from top tier colleges or to a certain percentage criteria. And also there were a lot of, as I said, a lot of international programs like open source contribution and a lot of programs like that in technology, where students didn't have any guidance to participate. So with GirlScript, like we introduced a program, like for example, called GirlScript Summer of Code, where we actually invited people across the globe to who don't understand what open source is. So they actually contribute to all these projects in 3 months, and later they got a job in the gist of the open source company, including Red Hat and even other companies like that, even Microsoft and Atlassian. We recently conducted a hiring drive with them, which included 15,000 women. It was a women in tech hiring drive. So, and even we also launched a program called Tech in Slums, where we taught like slum children about technology, because these children never dream of getting into a software company or doing freelancing. They always think of becoming like a house help. So we kind of change that perspective as well. So similarly, right from slum children to working professionals who want to change their domain into tech, we held all of these students, and there are many different stories about all of these people, which really excites me to do more of this work. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So, according to Women in Tech Statistics 2020, globally, India is leading the way by having 43% of graduates as women in STEM. Yet, women's share in STEM jobs in India is just 14%. So, how can companies, or organizations do to support and attract more women in technology?
Yeah, sure. So I think the first point is that the company should collaborate more with the local communities, because these companies come from different countries as well. They might not have the headquarters in India, or they might have different offices in India. So they should collaborate with those communities which work on local level, so that they can create more awareness about the hiring. They can also understand like what these local people want, or what is their mindset or thinking. So I think not just thinking about the company and the hiring and what candidate they need. I think there is more requirement of thinking about the candidate and what background they come from, where do they come from, and what they are expecting. So, for example, when Atlassian like collaborated with us and we did a hiring event with them, there were 15,000 women, and for the first time, like even students from village and from very like non-premier colleges, like everybody just came together at one platform, and they got equal opportunity to compete together, and actually the best ones got selected, and even others got something to learn from it. So they collaborated with our foundation. Similarly, there are different other foundations that are running, or different other local communities or initiatives that are running. So I would suggest for the companies to collaborate as much as possible and not try to do everything by themselves or just through the colleges. Because colleges also have a very specific role of educating the students. I think for hiring or for creating more diversity, more such NGOs or non-profits or even groups should be involved or taken advice from. That is first point. And the second point is that companies should give them some hands-on experience, or maybe like assign mentors. Just not do the hiring, but maybe do some of teaching as well. Because working in companies is totally different from actually taking education in a college. So the formal education is very different. So maybe just organizing a visit or a 1 week session just for training all of these candidates. Because this is what we did when we collaborated with the company for hiring. We organized a learning program for all the participants, so that even if they don't get selected, they get selected in other companies. And that was really, really useful for all of these women. So, yeah, I think these 2 points would be really useful if included. Yeah.
Right. Also, like we often talk about, all the challenges, but we do not celebrate our wins that keeps us going. So, what, according to you, like, were the key achievements or, highlight for women in technology in this past one decade?
So I think the scenario has changed a lot. I see a lot of women now taking this career, and when I actually saw like when we were also doing hiring event and all of that, I saw brilliant applications of women. Like I was even shocked to see like all of these achievements on their profile. I think now the time is changing, and because of social media, and even we are getting a lot of time due to even COVID as well. Like in last 3 years, if we talk about, people are coming closer globally because they are sharing like how they feel, what they are working on. Even like women are sharing with each other, they are forming community, they are coming live on Twitter spaces or maybe organizing events, participating more. So I think that is really helping women to actually understand a story from other person, and then set them as a role model, and then actually do it for themselves as well. So I think that has really improved. The mentor mentee kind of setup or the community setup has actually taken shape. Because if I think about 2013-14, when I started my engineering, there were very less communities, and even all those communities were, as I said, international. But right now, even Indian organizations, Indian local groups and communities have evolved so much that every city has 8 to 10. Every major city has 8 to 10 like groups, and even villages and remote areas are also participating. So the community ecosystem and the social media has changed everything. And then right now, if I talk about 2022. with crypto, Web3, all of these technologies coming in shape like NFTs and all of that, women are actually creating, NFTs, showing their art, they are participating, and this Web3 ecosystem is highlighting them to encouraging them to actually be anonymous and participate. So there is no discrimination or less chances of discrimination. Plus, even men are also utilizing or using the pictures of women as entities or something like that. So a lot of changes are happening. There are different groups evolving, and now women are understanding that how these communities can push them or how setting role models can help them. So this has changed, and I feel that if we can connect a network of these role models, I think in future we can have a great success in this matter.
I think that's amazing. I mean, really inspiring, the kind of work that you've been doing. And so, like, what inspires you to, work towards empowering more women in technology?
So I think first of all, like for example, like first of all, my role model is my mother because my father passed away really early when I just started my engineering when I was 18, and she actually took the workload of the entire family, and she was a housewife for last like so many years, like more than a decade, and then she started working. She actually paid for our college fee and all of that. So I think that in her wit and determination, I think that inspires me so much every day that if she can do it, I can do it too. And then later, when people come back with positive feedback. So, for example, even if we are not doing it for like gathering too many people together, but even if one person gets benefited and they just come back and say that okay, this was made possible just because of you or the organization and all of that. So I think those positive feedbacks also keeps me going. So like sometimes I just feel like giving up and not doing this anymore because there are obviously so many challenges. But yeah, I think the feedbacks and the constant support from my family or my mom, I think that really motivates.
Wow, that's powerful. My last question for you, Anubha. What is your advice for, women pursuing career in technology, especially in India?
Yeah, so right now, as I said, the Web3, NFT, even Twitter, and a lot of like social media is giving you an opportunity to showcase yourself. Like, even if you are sitting at a remote place, but you have an internet connection and a mobile phone, I think which most of us have right now. So you can just create content, learn anything, you can share your thoughts. And if you put it out there, it is really easy because people will see your profile. For example, you want to become an Android developer or a web developer or anything like that, you can just share your work every day constantly, like for 100 days, and I can guarantee that any recruiter would contact you because they will see you as an Android developer and contact you that would you like to work with us. So I think take full advantage of social media, of being online, of the internet that you have. Share your thoughts and be really open about it and your progress as well, not just the thoughts, but how you are progressing. And I would suggest to mentor other candidates as well because the more you teach others, the more you will understand about yourself, and this will really help. And be prepared about and understand more about the technologies that is going on right now. As I mentioned briefly about Web3, NFT, and all of that. So if you enter an industry which is very new, I think you become the first movers, and it gives you a lot of advantage in that case as well. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much, Anubha, for sharing really positive, powerful, and inspiring story. I'm sure this is going to motivate millions of, girls and women in STEM. Thank you so much for joining.